Welcome to the Aviator Edge podcast. Today, Bud and I are joined with Ryan Huber. We're stoked to have him. He's a corporate pilot, as am I, and we're excited to kind of compare and contrast our jobs, see how they match up, who's got the better lifestyle. And Ryan, thanks for coming out. He came all the way from Florida.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Great.
Yeah, man, we're glad
appreciate
you're
it.
here.
So I'm excited to be here this morning and talk aviation with you guys.
So when did you you went to ATP flight school?
Correct. Yeah. So I can give you the full backstory.
Yeah, I guess let's
basically.
start out. Yeah, where you grew up and.
Yeah, so I've been passionate about aviation since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma used to take me to PDK in Atlanta, and there's a little playground there. We used to watch airplanes, and that was kind of our thing ever since I was like 3 years old. We just go watch airplanes every other weekend and just fell in love with it and said, I want to fly airplanes one day. And so that's kind of how my passion started. And then got a flight simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 10 when I was like 11 years old, messing around on the computer. Took an intro flight when I was 10 for my 10th birthday. My parents got me a little intro flight at PDK and loved it and was like, I want to do this. Let's go. I want to get my license right away. And then obviously I couldn't because I was only a 10-year-old. So I cried and went home and thought it was the worst thing in the world. And then time went by, went into high school, kind of got out of the aviation thing a little bit, but it was always in the back of my mind. And then senior year, I was like, let's try and pursue this aviation dream. So got my private my senior year of high school, ended up going to Embry-Riddle for a year. Wasn't sure if I wanted to be a professional pilot or do something more aviation business related, like aircraft sales or something in the industry, but just knew I loved planes. And then at Embry-Riddle, I was talking to some kids that were already flying bigger stuff like Citations, Learjets, doing contract work, and they're only 19 or 20 years old, doing like day rate trips, making good money. And I was like, that's so cool. Yeah. If I don't fly a jet, like I just know I'm gonna regret it. Like I need to do this in my life's overall arc. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, how do I do it? And I had a scholarship to go to Embry-Riddle, but it was still a lot of money being a private school. And I was like, well, I can go to college, or maybe I go to flight school and then maybe come back to college. So I ended up leaving Embry-Riddle after my freshman year. Went to ATP, saw all their ads and everything they do, and was like, okay, well, I can get this done in maybe like 5 months, super quick. It's a fixed price. I can bang it out and then be, 19, already flight instructing, building time, and then get to my goal as quickly as possible. So I went to ATP.
What location again?
Lawrenceville.
Okay.
Yeah, LZU.
Okay,
North Georgia.
Okay.
So I went there and I had a really, really good experience with it, honestly. I documented a lot of my time there on YouTube, so I kind of got into social media, that side of aviation with my ATP days, and I would just post like week 1 at ATP, week 2, and did a full series of my time at ATP because I thought it'd be cool to document it. And like the CFI rides was different, or like my commercial multi was a different instructor, but it was like the same 2 guys pretty much the whole time. And then examiner availability was good, the weather kept up, and I got it done in about 5 months. And I got my CFI and was kind of off to the races.
You went 0 to CFI in 5 months?
So I had my private and I did instrument through CFI, MEI, all that in like 5 months.
Wait, wow. I swear that's even faster than what they.
I think I want to say,
they say 7
4
months
and like 3 weeks or something. It was either 4 months and 3 weeks or 5 months and 3 weeks.
Dude, that is insane.
8 years, but it was quick. It was
that's
really quick.
So
roughly
quick.
5 months to do it all.
I think I did private outside, but that took me 3 months. And then it was, I think, 11 or 12 months to go all the way to CFI.
Yeah. It is more realistic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
I mean,
I got kind of lucky.
I can't imagine trying to go faster.
I did it, but yeah, it worked out. And I was just, my mentality through it was there was no way I was going to fail. It was either, it wasn't even in my mind. I was just like, I've got to do this. Like I'm going to do it. And and did it, thankfully. So
yeah.
it worked out.
It's about the only way to approach an accelerated program. You got to come in, and there's no option. This
Yeah,
is how it
100%.
goes, one step in front of the other. Now, to do it that fast, though, it's interesting because that was when?
2016.
Yeah, because today you couldn't schedule a DPE for now into those times. You're looking at 2-3 months
I know that,
additionally
yeah.
if you don't know somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. And that was the craziest thing for me in that program was we did my private multi add-on first. That was the first thing I did. And the first day I showed up to school, they scheduled the check ride. So I was
wow.
like, before I had even flown the airplane, like, all right, welcome in.
Better
We're going
be
to schedule
ready.
your check ride now, 2 weeks out. And I'm like, wow, okay. So we scheduled the check ride 2 weeks out. And then I had my first lesson in the airplane. I think I did 5 flights. It's like 4 or 5 flights in the Seminole and then private multi. And then it's on to instrument, the next and the next.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, wow. So it worked out. So
That's
shout
sweet.
out to ATP. We got some content on them if you guys care to see it. It's pretty old now, but
Yeah. That's sweet.
dated. But yeah, I have a Facebook group actually as well, ATP Flight School Students and Alumni. So there's
Oh,
some
yeah,
resources
I'm on
there.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
for anyone interested in ATP.
That's dope. And did you fly instruct for him after?
I actually did not. So I ended up going to CAE out here, CAE Oxford, and instructed for them for about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And then left there, instructed at Sawyer Aviation, which is just a Part 61 small school out of Scottsdale. Not sure if they're there anymore. But my goal was always corporate.
Yeah.
So I was like, how can I get around corporate aviation? How can I get around jets that I want to fly? So I kind of made the move to instruct at Sawyer strategically because I knew they had a citation
Oh,
on the
yeah.
charter certificate. So I was like, okay, maybe if I instruct for them and they have a jet, then I can network my way into a position to be able to fly that or just be around the right people. And so instructed for Sawyer and then went to a company called Alante Air Charter, another 135 out of Scottsdale, flying CJ3.
Yeah.
And then kind of got a crazy phone call from a friend from Embry-Riddle and ended up on a G650 out of Cairo, Egypt for 3 years. And then I've been flying the 650 ever since for a couple different accounts. So
You lived out in Egypt for 3 years?
I did. So it was 45 days on, 45 days off. So it was a rotational schedule. And, you know, we were based in Egypt for half the year. And
Yeah.
it was a November registered G650 that was based over in Cairo. And there was 4 of us and we'd rotate in and out.
Yeah.
And fly over there. So that
How was that? Did you like Cairo?
Wow.
It's a very interesting city.
Yeah.
Very dense, populated place, chaotic, kind of
Yeah.
crazy coming from the U.S. or any like Western country going over there. It's a
Oh,
complete
yeah.
culture shock, but it was really cool experience to just be over there and see that part of the world.
Yeah, we spent like 2 days there, I think, and one of the craziest things was old Cairo. They basically just abandoned the town. And like people still live there, but it's just like, and then they decided to build a highway to New Cairo,
Yeah.
or something like that. I forget the
Yeah,
geography,
yeah.
but literally just built a freeway. And if there was apartment buildings, they would just break the apartment building in half in order to create the highway.
Yeah, there's
It
a
was-
lot of this vacant building facades out there.
I mean, and
It's
you would
really
still see
weird.
on the freeway, you'd have an apartment building right up next to the freeway, and you'd still see like lead pipes and you know the wirings all still hanging.
Yeah,
It was
it'd be like a
crazy.
skeleton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absurd.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was fascinating though. I really liked that.
Yeah, so yeah, Cairo was wild, and that was the opportunity that really boosted my career and
Yeah.
took me to where I wanted to go. So super thankful for that. And then yeah, like that got me into flying Gulfstreams, and we flew all over the Middle East, Europe, back and forth to North America,
That's
and
sweet.
yeah, I got a lot of really cool experience.
Yeah, and that G650. So you got a lav up front.
We do.
Yeah.
We do
Oh,
indeed.
man, I'm
Yes.
so jealous.
Yes, we do.
I get
The lab
so
up front
I
and
get
the crew rest.
dehydrated on my flights because we got the
Yeah.
lab clear in the back. So it's like,
Yeah.
all right, well,
Yeah, you got to go before because you don't want to disturb the boss.
Yep.
Like, hey, sorry, man.
I know.
Going to the back. You
yeah,
gotta-
you wouldn't expect, but a lav up front is awesome.
Yeah, that is really nice, especially with long legs.
Yeah, because
So-
I mean, you can do our max. I think is like 7.5 hours,
Mhm.
but you guys can do double that.
Yeah, we can do 14.
Yeah,
Yeah, 14 or 15, but yeah,
yeah,
it's
that
a long time.
yeah for real.
Time in the air. We don't do. Yeah, the longest I've done is 12 and a half.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's a long time. I've never done 14, but yeah, you're up there.
12.5 is long enough.
Yeah,
That's that's quite all right.
yeah,
Yeah.
12 and a half is long. We did 3 pilots for that, so augmented crew, Tokyo to
Oh, okay.
Cairo. That was the longest leg I've done.
Yeah.
12 hours, 34 minutes, I think. And yeah.
And there's 3 of you or 4 for crew?
There was 3 on that trip.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did 3 of us, and then.
Oh, because you have a crew. You have
We have
a
a crew rest.
crew rest right up there with you too, right?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, yeah.
So we have the option to use the crew rest and have 3 guys, and
That's sweet.
makes it a little easier on longer flights, but that's not always the case. Sometimes just 2 people, and that can be a long day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a cool trip, and that was before everything with Russia and Ukraine happened. So
Yeah.
we ended up flying like around North Korea, and then all the way through Russia, and then down into Egypt. So
Jeez.
like I think 80% of the flight was just over Russia.
Yeah.
Just like over wasteland, and the radio's like dead silent the whole way. There's like nobody
That's
over there.
wild.
Just cruising over Siberia. It was pretty wild.
Wow.
So that was really cool.
It's got to be lonely.
Yeah,
You get
I know.
slowly
You
over
start to
Siberia,
wonder if
yeah.
people have forgotten you're flying. Yeah.
Yeah.
You still there?
You could do that here too when you get out into the places in Arizona where there's just no one but you. I like to drive out there and just park and walk, because sometimes it's good to see just how small you are in relation to everything else.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get alone with, you can have conversations with the Lord above by yourself. It's kind of nice. No other pollution, nothing else happening. That's
Oh yeah,
cool.
you start to see how much land we got that's got
Yeah.
nobody
Oh, yeah.
on it. Yeah, when
Yeah,
you're
people
flying
don't
around.
realize. Yeah, some of these flights you fly over and you're like, there's nothing. out
Nothing.
here.
Yeah. Even Dubai, that's fascinating because it's just sand dunes everywhere, and then you come up on like
Yeah,
this
massive,
crazy futuristic
future city. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
It's like flying right into
water,
St.
but-
Louis. St. Louis just comes, the arch just comes up out of the ground, or just whoosh, here it is. Like we were a cornfield a second ago, now we got an arch,
Yeah.
and then we got St. Louis.
Yeah.
So you went from okay, so you did that job in Egypt for 3 years,
Correct.
and then you decided to change it up.
Yeah, so I did that job for 3 years. We had a rotation, 45 on, 45 off, and there was 4 of us. And then post-COVID, the owner was kind of restructuring things. He wanted to go from 4 pilots to 3 pilots, which would have meant for me to stay out there 60 days on, 30 days off,
Oof.
and spend more time over in Egypt. And my wife is here sitting behind the camera, and we were together at the time, and I was like, I don't want to do that. So, I ended up leaving that, and then I've done stuff on the side, had a real estate business for a while, was kind of doing that, and then got into some contract work, and then some other 650 accounts. This kind of led to where I'm at now. Right now I'm based out of FXE, Fort Lauderdale Executive, on a G650, Part 91, similar operation, but not in Cairo.
Yeah.
So Cairo, great times, but happy to be back in the U.S.
Yeah. Nothing like the
enjoy it
U.S. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice being home more.
I got to ask you this because I do owe some of this to you, but when Blake and I saw, my buddy Blake and I, he was the one that introduced me to your account like years ago.
Yeah.
And when we saw that you were taking a break from flying and doing real estate for a bit, we thought that most of that was from your following on social media. Was that like, did that get you some contacts in order to do real estate as well?
Maybe a little bit. Real estate is just kind of another passion of mine and something I've picked up over the last 5 years or so. And I've always been passionate about business, entrepreneurship. I always try and stay busy. I can't really sit still. So if I'm not flying, I want to do stuff. I want to make money. And I've just always been passionate and fascinated with real estate, and obviously heard that a lot of people make really good money in real estate.
Yeah.
So I was like, how can I get involved in this? And didn't have any money at the time. So figured out about real estate wholesaling, which is basically where you find a distressed property off market, motivated seller that needs to sell their home. You get that property under contract for a certain price, say $100,000, and then you find a end buyer, some other investor that's looking to flip the property or use it as a rental property, and you sell that contract for say $110,000, and then you make a spread in the middle. So you're basically buying and selling these contracts. And I was doing that for the better part of like 3 years while I was doing the Egypt job, and then kind of took some time away from aviation, had more full focus on that, and then I got back into it. So
that's sweet.
yeah,
that is well, that's sweet. That's why Blake and I, because we figured, okay, he's doing real estate now because he's got some social media following, and that's probably where he's getting a lot of contact stuff. So that was where Blake and I were like, we got to start posting about our time at a flight school and stuff. So we kind of started posting a little bit, but
Yeah, that's cool. Whatever got you going. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Just found out that I actually got some friends were making fun of us, so that wasn't cool. But
Yeah. I mean, you'll always have haters, I feel like. So if you're posting on social media, then I don't know.
Yeah.
There's always people that don't like what you have to say and
yeah, well, one of my
have their 2 cents, but it is what it is.
yeah, one of my buddies was saying that it was hilarious because I was always posting about it was my first time doing this type of flight, first time doing instrument flight, and it became a joke that everything was a first time for me. 'Cause obviously it is, but it was like every day because I remember we were doing like our first trip to each airport. I was always posting about that, and so anyway, it became a joke, but. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Hey, it catches on. You're the first time guy. So you got a brand now. You got a consistent title, consistent video structure. First time here, first time there. People know what they're getting and run it up.
So are you still doing real estate?
I haven't been doing it as much, but I want to get back into it.
Yeah.
I've focused more on flying the last 2 years and kind of built myself up to a good position now as a captain on the 650. And then I want to do more real estate now.
Yeah.
I have a little bit more time off, a little bit more structure with my current job. So I definitely want to get back into it and do more. But flying's been kind of the main focus the last couple of years.
Cool. That's sweet. And now you have a current job that it's a little bit better than the 45 on, 45 off.
Correct. Yeah. So for anyone that wants to get into corporate aviation, it can be very weird as far as the schedule. There's charter where you might have like 7 on, 7 off, or 15 on, 13 off. And then with Part 91, which is just flying a private owner, someone that owns the airplane, you fly exclusively for them. The schedule can be really anything. So it could be 2 pilots and you just cater to their schedule and their demands all the time. Or it could be, 3 or 4 pilots and you guys rotate. I did 45 days on, 45 days off doing the Egyptian thing. Right now we kind of just help each other out and it's a little bit more fluid, but you could do 10-10, 14-14. So there's a lot of variance in scheduling in corporate aviation jobs.
Yeah.
So 45 days on, how many hours a day are you putting in, like real hours?
We're not flying that much, to be honest. So, I mean, I think we probably flew like 300 hours a year. So 45 days on. I'm only there half the year, so I probably flew 150 hours a year out of that 6-month duration in Egypt. So we'd probably fly maybe twice a week, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot.
45 days on just means you're available, to work, but
in
you're not
base, like ready to go. But it was a lot of time. I felt like the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, like that TV show, because I was.
Is that where you just stayed at a hotel?
Yeah, so they put us up at the Four Seasons in Cairo.
Oh,
so
wow.
I just lived there for 45 days.
45 days at the time.
Yeah, so obviously we'd go to different cities, and like if we were in Nice, we'd be in Nice, or if we're in London, we'd be in London. But I'd say almost half of the time was at the Four Seasons in Cairo. So
and
then sounds awful.
Yeah. So being a guy in his young 20s just sitting around at the Four Seasons
in a hotel.
It was a very interesting, luxurious lifestyle for a little while. So
for real, that's hilarious.
Very, very grateful for the experience, and aviation is not always like that. So I got lucky and blessed with that opportunity. But it was really cool.
And then 45 days off, you'd come back here?
Correct. So I'd come home and then have time off. So it was like great job. Worked out really well. A lot of time off, but the time over there was also kind of a lot of time. So having a relationship, not the best thing doing that, but I don't know. That's kind of the job, the nature of the job. So
it is particular, especially I mean. When I flew at the airlines, I found that I was getting homesick, like when I would have 4-day trips being gone. And I remember, though, a lot of it was also just feeling like lonely because it was a new captain every time. There was always this superficial conversation of like, where'd you go to school, and then and it started to wear you down after every day you're doing that same conversation. And then there's new flight attendants every time. You feel like you didn't have really like friends that you were close with. And so when I started flying corporate, and I became tight with the family that I flew, and then I became tight with my co-pilot, I found that was actually kind of it wasn't being gone as much as it was just looking for kind of a friendship, at least. Somebody to connect with while I was gone.
I can imagine, because I never flew for the airlines, but that would seem to be
Yeah.
quite difficult if you're introducing yourself, making the small talk. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Like, same jokes, same
Yeah.
little openers, one-liners. Like, oh,
Yeah.
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 You
Heard
just
that
described my
before.
life, man. I made a living on TV with the same 4 jokes. I only got 4. Oh man, y'all making life hard. So
That's one of them, actually.
right.
Yeah, he's-
So when I'm talking to potential
and you're within that system and there's not as much flexibility, great for stability, great for overall career growth, but corporate's more variable, but
Yeah.
you can kind of make your way a little bit more.
So for my entrepreneurs, you like that corporate. So I mean, 45 days on, 45 days off would give you an opportunity to build and grow a business or a brand with that kind of
on
time.
the side. Yeah, with that kind of time off, you can build other businesses, you can do other stuff, which is what I found a lot of the successful corporate guys, either they're doing contract work on the side, flying, or they're buying
Yep.
and selling airplanes. They own a flight school. They've one of the guys I fly with, he has owns a bunch of Jersey Mikes. Makes money doing that. So
That's sweet.
yeah, a lot of these guys are really crafty with their time and do other stuff, and it's one of the beautiful things about flying is it's not a 9 to 5 job where you're putting in X number of hours a week. You could have 3 weeks off, 45 days off, or you could be flying every day. So
Plus, if you own a Jersey Mike's, you get to hang out with Danny DeVito, and that's cool. That's a win.
Yeah, I love their subs, man. They're good.
it's good stuff. Shout out Jersey Mike.
I am hungry.
Well,
Might
and
need
that's
a couple of those.
I like that you say that you decided to go to Scottsdale at Sawyer Aviation to instruct, to rub shoulders with people that either flew jets or and that's one thing. A lot of people ask me how I got the job and how I got the current job that I fly, and I just say it was word of mouth. I mean, I didn't send a resume anywhere or apply somewhere, and they reached out to me. It was just through a friend of a friend that set me up with the job. And so networking and becoming friends with a lot of people is so important, especially now with Aviator Edge. I work with Tyler a lot, who was my student at ATP. And so it's like, you just be friends with everyone, network, and find
100%.
people. And especially you're going to be working with them later on in the career.
Oh, yeah.
So.
It's crazy how this industry works. And almost every job I've gotten in corporate aviation has been a phone call from a friend that I networked with or met 3 years ago, 5 years ago. And then it comes back around. And it's like, hey, are you still in Fort Lauderdale? Are you still flying the 650? Or, hey, what's up? Haven't talked to you in 3 years, but you want a job? And it's insane how it works. And, an opportunity in 2022, I got on an account because I knew somebody that was a mentor to me when I was a student. So I was like going through my instrument rating and I met this lady who's a great pilot and was kind of using her as a resource through Facebook. Like, hey, what do you recommend? Because I think she was flying a G4 at the time. And then like 6 years later, she ended up hiring me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just wild how it works. So
Which is what I tell these students when they come into school. You are making the 9 people that you have in your class are the future for you.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got to work with those people, and every one of those 9 needs to know you're the absolute best in that class. And then the CFIs that are in the building, I always tell the students the difference between you and your CFI is about 9 months. So what you need that CFI, they're ahead of you, so they're going to open a door for you. And it's interesting that you're saying the same thing, because everyone I've ever known in aviation, 50-year-long careers in aviation, they tell me every job they ever got was from someone else they knew. Just putting a resume in and stacking it with everyone else is not opening that door.
100%.
So everything we do in the aviation business is not about what you know. You got to have that. It's the who you know that opens the
100%.
door.
Who, not how. Absolutely.
Yeah, people want to know that they want to work with you. So yeah, as long as you want to obviously show that you got your head on your shoulders, that you know what you're doing, that you're a hard worker and stuff. But you also just want to seem likable and easy to work with.
Yeah, because
you spend a lot of time with them.
Exactly. Yeah, you're kind of married to your crew at the end of the day. So you have some weird things where like a normal job you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Late nights, weird late dinners in random cities, or early breakfast at 4 a.m. and these situations where it's like you're living on the road together. So you better get along, and if you don't, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, for real. And and you always want to keep the cockpit a good relationship between each other.
Oh yeah.
And so you can.
And you guys have to be friends with not only the owner or your boss, but that also includes cousins' wives, kids, cousins' kids' wives, whomever's coming along. Because you're kind of more of in a service industry, if you will, than the airline business, because there is kind of a wall between the pilot and the service industry versus where you guys are the service industry and there is no wall.
100%.
Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pilot, but also VIP hospitality at the same time.
Oh yeah, you're loading the bags, you're cleaning, you're a lot of stuff.
So it's glamorous, but also you're cleaning toilets, you're stocking stuff, stocking food in the airplane, hauling bags. Yeah, if they need something, you've got to do it. Or they leave something on the airplane, you're taking it to their house. You're making sure that they've got their transportation there, their car's there, all kinds of little things. So it's a lot more logistics and planning. You're almost like a pseudo assistant for a lot of these jobs, or working directly with their executive assistant. So you can't be opposed to doing that, and you got to be a team player. Yeah,
you got to be. I know. I mean, my co-pilot said he's had people that they hired seem stellar, and then they find out they gotta load the suitcases, and they're like, I'm not doing that. That's not my gig. But it's completely different from commercial airline flying, because you just show up, the weather's all done, everything's set, you just got to push back and go.
You don't have to file your flight plan or worry about fuel load, or can we even get into this airport? That's a fun one. It's like, what is that airport? Where? Can we go there? How long is the runway? What's going on?
So it sounds to me like because one of the things that I always talk with students about is you get to do in training the stuff that you never get to do anymore. So you're kind of doing all of your own math, you're doing all of your maneuvers and everything else, and the only time you get to do that really is during your training and the extra training that you get. So it sounds to me like there's more fun in the corporate world, in that your schedule's not as solid, and you have more bonds from families and friends that you get to work with, and you kind of just get to do more things, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more dynamic, and this might be a controversial take or upset some airline guys, but I think it's a lot harder of a job, because if the boss calls and says, hey, we need to get into this little airport in Switzerland in the mountains and we got to go tomorrow, then you've got to figure all that out and give them an answer and make a confident decision. Go, no go, can we do it? What's the weather? What's the airport? Handling, customs, is it safe? Is there transportation? Is there hotels? What's going on in the area? All these considerations where it's like I remember when I was in Egypt, we literally had a flight where we were supposed to go from Nice back to Cairo, and it was the middle of the night. Our boss wanted to go to Erbil, Iraq, to drop off a diplomat and then go back into Cairo. And we're having to sit there and go, okay, can we go into Iraq? Like, what does that look like? Is it safe? So you're making those decisions. You might have a dispatcher to help you, but it's not like, oh, we're just going to go from Hartsfield to LaGuardia for the 100th time, and fuel load's all set, and all we got to do is show up and plug in the box and go. So it's it can be kind of crazy at times.
Oh, it'll get stressful too. Especially with those last second calls, like, can we do this? And especially you're under the pressure of saying yes, and so it's like, we gotta make sure that
you have to be careful too, because that's how you can get in trouble. And you see airplanes going off the end of a runway when it's like, oh yeah, we can do it, and then oh no, we can't do it. And that's all it takes is one mistake. So you really have to be confident in yourself, and then also like be able to stand up to the owner and say, hey, like, we can't do this. You're paying me to say no to protect you, not to just be a yes man. So but balancing that with that professional dynamic, it can be challenging for sure.
Oh yeah, well I've had to reel back a bit because I'm kind of a yes man. So my boss a couple of times has asked if we go somewhere, and I'll just kind of say out of a habit, almost like, I'm sure we can, and then I found out I kind of can't give him expectations that already it's going to be positive.
Yeah.
Because we've had some times where it's like, oh, actually we can't. So my
Yeah,
bad,
and it can be tough, and some owners are more receptive to that or not. But I think most are pretty good. I've had good experiences. I don't really work for anyone where it's like, well, let's do it anyway, just go.
Yeah, I know. Risk our lives.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they almost respect it that you're able to say, look, we can't do this, and this is the reason why. You know, either the conditions aren't right, but I mean, we do a lot of summertime flying, and there's been times where the runway is just too short. It's like we just can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're back to the spaghetti chart doing it. It's like can't do it. So and I think they do respect that a little bit.
Wet.
Yeah.
Y'all are NW crafted all the time, ain't you? Everywhere you go. Because you have to plan all of your, I mean, you look at tons of possible options. Because like you said, what's happening? What's the time of year? Or what are we doing there? Should we, our alternate airports, we got to start paying.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much. It's a whole different world.
Parking and slots
parking's
for
a
events.
thing,
Like, if you want to go to the Super Bowl, you can't just go to the Super Bowl. Like, you got to get parking. You got to make sure you got a slot, PPR arranged. So if you're not quick on that, then that could really get you in trouble. Like, oh yeah, I waited to the last minute, and we actually don't have parking there. Your signature is their ramp space is gone. We can't go. And it's like, what do you mean? You know,
you always got to look if they've decided that there's a last minute trip they want to do or something. You got to look for if there's events going on there or something. You want to figure that out pretty quick.
So that'll get you.
Yeah, man. They there's a lot to do, but you know that's what makes it fun though. It's,
100%.
Compared to the commercial airlines, it's a little monotonous. And although I loved saying hi to passengers, and especially either passengers are just as happy as you are, or they seem a little down in the dumps, I always liked being the smile that could help passengers kind of feel good about it, especially if they were nervous to fly or something like that. But
that's really cool.
I do like the diversity and the variation of type of flying that we get.
Yeah, it's challenging. It's fun.
Yeah,
keeps it fun.
For
sure. It is the same. Yeah.
And you're down in Florida, so you're in thunderstorm capital of the world there. So how's the flying been with the storms going on?
It's not like too crazy. I mean, we dodge storms coming in.
Yeah.
But
I feel like
go around them.
Yeah, we're go around them.
Try not to go through them.
I know it's so nice actually in a jet because you can go 200 miles around a storm and it's like a minute or two.
And then with I don't know what your service ceiling is, but in our airplane we can go above almost everything, so it makes it really easy.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's tough about airline flying is I don't know how they do it down at like 32, 34,000 feet.
Oh, that's where we're at initially.
Like, thank God we're at 45. Just we're soaring over it smooth 470. Like we're chilling.
So I mean we start out 34, 36, and then we'll get up to 40, 39.
Okay. Yeah. You guys go up to 41?
Yeah, we can go 41. Yeah, we rarely do, but I mean, we're oftentimes though Puerto Rico and back, and so we're going around Florida because you guys got so many storms going on.
Yeah,
but 45. And what are you cruising at?
9.0, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah,
Mach 9.0.
Yeah, okay, so a lot faster than us.
Yeah, 90%
or
speed of sound for the viewers. Yeah. So I'm super spoiled. The G650 is incredible. It's super fast, high. Great wing, flies incredible, fly-by-wire. You never really have to worry about gas because our range is ridiculous. So.
I think our like max takeoff weight on our plane, I think, is the amount of fuel. Can't you take like 40,000 pounds of fuel?
Yeah, 48,200.
Oh, it's the exact. Yeah. Okay, that's literally our max takeoff weight on our jet. Yeah, so. That's wild. And isn't all the fuel just in the wings on the G650?
Yep.
That's how the heck does it fit? That is crazy.
100-foot wingspan, so they fit it in somehow.
Yeah, their wings are massive.
Yeah, and then it's funny because there's the G650 and then the 650ER, and it's the exact same airplane structurally. It's literally just like a computer switch or it's software that upgrades it to fit more fuel. So it's same wing, fits more fuel. It's like a $2 million software upgrade.
No way. So it already has the capacity.
Yeah, it already has the structural capacity for the fuel. It's just a matter of programming the computers to take it.
Oh, that's wild.
So it's a little Gulfstream sales hack that they figured out or whatever. They're all 650 ERs now, and then now the G800 is replacing the 650. So the 650 program is going to come to an end here probably, I don't know, next year, but awesome plane. Awesome plane.
Yeah, those look incredible. Yeah.
He has wing envy. You can tell by looking at him.
I know. I'm seeing the wingspan, and I'm like, wow, I'm feeling in love.
Yeah, you got to be careful with the wings though, because taxiing around on little
For real.
ramps. Yeah, that's like the most daunting thing about flying it is taxiing it around. Because I'm always looking at those wingtips, and I'm like trying not to hit anything.
Yeah, but you got cameras everywhere, right? Or do you have anything to help with the wings?
Pretty much, not the wings. Like we have a top camera, forward camera, a camera on the main gear, but then we don't have like a wingtip camera, which would be really cool. Because obviously cars have all these cameras and sensors now. So maybe, I don't know, wingtip camera.
Help out with that. That'd be nice.
That'd be pretty cool. But
you do get pretty accurate though with those taxi lines, huh? With that main gear camera.
Yeah. You can. There's a camera. You can really pull it up
sweet.
and put it right on the line. So
yeah, that's nice.
If you see any Gulfstream drivers on the line, 100%, it's
probably using it.
We're not that good. We got a camera. It's fine though. But, yeah,
that's dope. Yeah, 650 sounds incredible. And okay, so you're based out of Florida now, and you guys like it out there?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Fort Lauderdale, right?
That's Fort Lauderdale. We've been there the last 3 years. My wife is from here, from Arizona. I lived out here for 4 years, and we moved out to Florida about 3 years ago, 2021, and then we've been there ever since.
Sweet.
I bought a Harley there one weekend.
There you go.
I did. I flew in. You look at that double-decker Harley upstairs, downstairs. I was like, yeah, I'll take that one. So I rode it right up A1A and right on back out to South Carolina. I rode right up 95.
Oh, wow.
Is that in Daytona?
In Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, in Fort Lauderdale, they have a double-decker Harley?
Yeah, man. I was like, that is a dope bike. And he was like, here's the money. And I'm like, I'll take it. And I bounced off. Yeah. It's kind of fun.
I didn't take you for a bike rider, though. I love this. Come
on.
Hey. And down to South Carolina, that must have been a ride.
Dude, that's where I'm from. I'm from Charleston, so I'm an East Coaster anyway. So we'll roll A1A until we can get off of it. And straight to 95 we go.
Fun.
Yeah. It was a good time. Cool. Yeah, my mother didn't know what I was doing either. My family sometimes loses me.
Where you at now?
Is that a Harley? What's that doing?
Yeah.
Good times in Fort
You ride bikes at all?
I do not.
Yeah.
No. Thought about it at one point, but I don't.
Yeah, I used to, but I think that's past me now.
Yeah. So perfect out here though, because we don't get the rain. When you start messing with Florida, you get that hourly rain, afternoon rain at 2:45 every day.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be riding a bike in the rain.
No, it's
on
awful.
I-95,
Straight, you park up under all of the overpasses and you wait till the rain. I've done that many a time. Yeah. Ooh, it don't cool you off either. Then it gets hot. You know how it works. After it rains, then it gets hot.
Muggy.
Yeah, street starts sweating. That ain't cool.
So I did want to ask, because obviously we can tell you're absolutely jacked. So
try to be. Yeah.
How you keep
do the best I can. Yeah.
So how you keeping the physique? How's that going for you out on work trips and stuff at hotels, working?
It's a good question. Yeah, because
I think that's a lot. I get a lot of people asking how do you eat? How do you stay physically active when you're out on trips and stuff? And it is hard.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of pilots struggle with their weight or their health just because of the nature of the job. We're sitting in a cockpit and then moving around different cities, long days, early morning, so it's really easy to just get quick snacks and cheat food and stock the plane with a bunch of crappy snacks and eat like that. But I've always just had a passion for fitness and staying in good health, which is, I think, 80% just the foundation. Like the fact that, you'll talk to some people and they're like, I hate the gym. I just absolutely hate it. And I actually like it. Yeah. So like I enjoy going to the gym for an hour and a half.
It can be a learned love too. Like as you get more comfortable there and stuff, you slowly start to develop that
the
time where you
for
like
it or
it.
just that discipline or ritual. So that's helped a lot. But I think the biggest thing that I tell people is just keep it simple. Like a lot of people overcomplicate what it takes to stay in shape. And I think doing the little things each and every day will compound better than having some gnarly workout once a week and then binging the rest of the week and eating pizza. And that's like my biggest beef with some of these fad diets and like new cool program is like, okay, you do that for a couple weeks and then you're going to burn out and it's not sustainable. So like do what's sustainable for you and don't overcomplicate it. And it might be hard with a hotel gym where all you have is some dumbbells up to 50 pounds and then a treadmill and maybe that's it. But just go in there, walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes, do some curls and then get out of there. Like that sounds dumb, like, oh, that's a dumb workout. It's super easy, but like, it's better than sitting in your hotel room.
Yeah.
So just do what you can. Do what you can. You know, if it's a long day, just do some curls, do some, you know, side lateral raises, maybe some shoulder press or something. Do some sit-ups. Walk on the treadmill. 5 minutes on the treadmill is better than nothing.
Yep.
So keep it simple, keep it light, and then if you can do that consistently, then add in a little bit more challenge and, you know, just progress from there. But use what you can, don't overcomplicate it. And then when I'm home, I personally try and get to the gym as much as possible, 5 or 6 days a week in an actual gym.
Yeah.
I enjoy that, but you know, do what you enjoy, keep it fun, keep it simple, and I think those are the best things. Same thing with nutrition, and then focus on protein.
Yeah.
Eat as much protein as possible, and then as little sugar as possible. If you do that, that's a good kind of barometer for being okay.
Yep. Yeah. 80-20.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I think consistency is so crucial. Yeah, like how you were saying, even you're not going to want to sometimes, but you show up at the hotel, it's late, and you're thinking about sleeping in. It's like, just be consistent. You'll get that habit going. And even if you don't want to, you show up to the gym you're going to be there 5 minutes. Then you get in that mindset, and then you can end up being there for maybe 20, 30 minutes. And once again, you start feeling better about yourself, and then it slowly becomes a thing where you're like, okay, I'm glad I did that. I feel way better.
Yeah, and getting to the gym is the hardest part.
Yeah.
So just showing
getting
up
the door
is the hardest thing. So just literally show up and just stand there, look around the room, be like, all right, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And then, all right, next step, just like walk on the treadmill or just like pick up a 20-pound weight. Just do a couple curls. All right, and then just get in the flow and do something. So better than nothing, and then just do it consistently as much as possible.
I've found gyms have day rates too. There's a lot of gyms
A lot
I've
of them
found,
do.
especially if they're smaller, maybe not the corporate chains, but when I'm traveling, I like to park. I'll be like, hey, how you doing? Looking for a day rate. They usually charge me $10-12. I give them the money.
Yeah.
I go in. Everything in there's heavy. I pick it up, then I head out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll kind of do that as well, combine, like if I'm on the road for a week, maybe 3 workouts at the hotel, and then if I'm trying to hit a leg day or something a little bit more complex, I'll go to an actual gym. And even if the day pass is $20 or $30 in some cities, it's like, okay, I mean, it's not cheap, but you know, if you're going out and drinking or doing something, you know, that's not going to be cheap either, and that's going to be detrimental to your health. Whereas, like, pay the $20 and invest in yourself. You know, invest in your health, invest in yourself, and it's always going to pay dividends. So that's the way I look at it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Gotta invest in yourself.
100%.
Let me ask you this: Where do you do recurrency training, or where'd you do your initial training for the G650?
Yeah, I did my initial at CAE in Dubai.
Okay,
which was super cool.
That's rad. Yeah.
So yeah, that was awesome. And then I did my most recent recurrent at Flight Safety in Savannah.
Okay.
I've done them in different places. CAE Dubai was convenient for the Egypt account because it's in the same region and it was cheaper than a lot of the training centers. And then most recently, Flight Safety Savannah. I've done CAE Dallas. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
I think I've 1 or 2 more. But
That's sweet. Yeah, I normally do flight safety, but we just did CAE down in Montreal, and it was sweet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a good experience.
Nice.
They changed it too. Did you when did you do your recurrent training for the 650?
My last one was in March.
And that was Savannah?
Flight Safety Savannah, yeah.
Okay. Did they kind of have like a check ride at the end? Because this was what I just did recurrent training in the Challenger 650.
Yeah. When did you just do it?
It was, let me think. It was June. It was early June, yeah.
Yeah, because I heard something around March, April, where they're doing more of like a check ride now for the...
Yeah, it was full on. So we were trying to do, because we didn't want to be gone too long, that the CAE in Montreal, they did a 2-day course. But it was a full day training, ground school and everything. And then the next day you did a ground course, did the ground exam, and then you went into like the check ride. And the way they were describing it to us was it was a full on check ride. This guy wasn't going to help us at all. And he had to make sure that we would pass, and if we failed, we'd have to pay the whole course again.
Whereas before it was like a progressive check.
Yeah, and they would just watch you. Yeah, and if you failed something, it was like, hey, we'll practice on that today and tomorrow on the sim, and then slowly basically pass you off at the end as you fix everything. But yeah, this was like a pass or fail thing, which it was way interesting. But yeah, I'm glad.
Which is probably good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I'm sure in the end it's probably pretty. It's got to be beneficial. But I mean, the 2-day course was super short, So it was
So say that again. There was 2 days of ground and then 2 days in the sim, or it was
2 days all together.
total?
Yeah, total. So
Oh,
it was
wow.
1 day. It was. I mean, it was long, but we did 2 sim sessions on day 1. So I had two
Okay.
2-hour sessions on day 1 in the
Wow.
sim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was 8 hours total in the sim because I also sat right seat for my
Dang,
co-pilot.
That's
yeah.
a lot of time.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
So, but then they only had that option though, or like a 4 or 6 day course. So we were like, we'll just do that.
Yeah, because I've done 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
So usually it's 3 days of ground and then 2 days in the sim, I believe, or 2 days of ground,
Yeah.
3 days in the sim, something like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if I was in Dubai, I wouldn't mind that.
yeah,
too.
Dubai was the initial was a month long in Dubai.
Yeah.
And that was like the coolest experience ever. And yeah, I stayed at an awesome hotel, and Dubai is probably my favorite city
Yeah.
on earth. My wife and I kind of fell in love out there.
No way.
We got
Yeah.
engaged out there.
Okay.
So I love it. Yeah.
Oh, that's
and then
sweet.
I got the 650 Type out there. So a lot of good memories in Dubai.
That's
Big
sweet.
fan. Yeah.
Well, congrats, by the way.
Yeah.
And you've been married 3 months.
3 months. Yeah. so,
Congrats, you
yeah.
and Shay. Yeah, that's
long
awesome.
time. Yeah.
Dubai, yeah. Dubai is sweet. I got to spend
Yeah.
like 3 days out there. Do you eat at Din Tai Fung? You heard of that place?
No, I think I've heard of it though.
It's now I'm gonna butcher. I think it's a Taiwanese restaurant.
Okay.
And it is so good. But they have one in Vegas and LA,
Okay,
and
nice.
and one in Dubai. But it is so good. I love it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have heard of that place. I think my old co-pilot was telling me about that in Vegas,
Yeah,
and like really loves it.
yeah, it's so
Yeah,
good. I
I
forget
don't
what
think we
hotel
tried
it's
it,
in Vegas, but they have it.
yeah.
I think it's in the mall and underneath the Burj Khalifa
Okay.
in
Nice.
Dubai.
Yeah.
But it was delicious.
That's
yeah.
sick. There's so much good food in Dubai.
So much,
It's
yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, the food, entertainment, hospitality out there is just ridiculous.
Plus, it's so cheap to stay.
Oh yeah.
Super cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
it's not cheap.
it's crazy there. Everything is massive.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Bigger,
fascinating.
bolder. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really cool. Really cool. What they're doing.
That's sweet. So besides Dubai, where else you been that you really liked, or any places that you've been that you didn't think you would like but you actually enjoyed?
Yeah. So aviation is. Yeah, I've gotten to see a lot of the world, which has been really cool. And with the G650, a lot of it is international. So I've done the UK, Spain, France, Italy. I mean, pretty much every country in Western Europe, Serbia, Montenegro, Croatia, Saudi Arabia, flew into Iraq for a quick turn, Morocco, Japan. We've done personal trips around Southeast Asia.
Jeez.
A lot of places. I've been to 38 countries,
Wow.
and probably 25 to 30 of them are work related.
Yeah.
So a lot of places.
Yeah.
So
That's a rad.
yeah.
Yeah. Before I started this job, I had been to 2 countries.
Yeah.
Now I think I'm at like 16 or 17, but
Love it. Yeah.
I'm getting up there.
Yeah,
That is
flying will do that.
that is a really cool part of it. The corporate flying is seeing
Yeah.
the world, and it really does make you grateful. I mean, at least for me, it makes me grateful for the country I'm in, where I'm at, because you see, I mean, there's especially like Egypt, places like that.
Yeah.
There's so much, the population, and then it makes you really grateful for. I mean, the fact that I even have a car, I drive places. It's it's completely unheard
you
of in some of these
see
countries.
A total different way of life.
Yeah.
And I've seen the poorest of the poor and the richest of the rich, and it's crazy just seeing how different lifestyles and cultures are, and it makes you really grateful for where you live. Being in the United States, we've got it pretty good here.
Yeah.
And but the world is incredible, and there's a lot of cool places to see, and that was kind of what drew me to aviation. I've always wanted to travel and see the world, and I'm a big experience guy. Like I'd say less materialistic than experiential. I like going places, seeing stuff, doing cool things, and I never thought I'd be able to visit 38 countries by the time I'm 27. That's blows my mind. So super
For real,
blessed,
you're
super
so
blessed.
young.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Still young, yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna you got to keep the countries above your age. So you just keep.
That's what
visiting
I'm
more.
thinking.
Yeah.
So hit 50 countries by 30, maybe. We'll see. I
That's
don't know.
sweet. So when
We'll
you're off work, do you and Shay still try and get around to new countries? Like,
yeah,
you guys
we
like
try and
traveling
travel
still?
a lot. We both love traveling. We recently got back from our honeymoon. We went to Malaysia and Singapore, which was different. But we've done that. We've done Thailand, Bali, Dubai and the UAE. We've done Montenegro, Serbia, Croatia, Mexico.
Jeez.
A lot of places. So
Okay,
we love traveling.
You guys like it.
Yeah, we love traveling.
Yeah, when I get home, I'm just a homebody. I like that. Yeah, I even feel a little burnout sometimes when I'm gone so much. I'm like,
I definitely do too. I like being home, but then after like a week, I need to do something.
Yeah, let me get out of here.
Too. Yeah. What are we doing? Yeah.
That's cool. Awesome, dude. Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
We're psyched. You want to go fly?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go fly an arrow, huh?
Let's do it.
All right, sweet. Thanks for
Love
tuning in. And we're going to go hop in a plane, go fly around, get some landings in.
Awesome. Thank you guys.